After it became clear the Ottawa Senators were turning into an absolute dumpster fire, the pressure became too much to bear, and Pierre Dorion resigned as GM of the Ottawa Senators. And although owner Eugene Melnyk tried, no big name on the market dared risk their entire career on the nation's capital, forcing Melnyk to approach the completely unknown. Hello, my suffering citizens of Ottawa. Your cries for help and change have been heard, and your new general manager, GM Yeesh, has stepped up to the task to turn this franchise around. And to say I have my work cut out for me would be an understatement, boys. I just got off the phone with Eugene Melnyk, discussing his plans and expectations for your Ottawa Senators moving forward, and they are rough. Just take a look at this. On behalf of the great city of Ottawa, I would like to formally welcome you to the Ottawa Senators organization, GM Yeesh. Thank you, Eugene. We have huge expectations for you and this team, and while I intend to give you complete control in regards to building this team, I do have some rules that you must follow as long as you are GM here. No spending to the cap. We are not a cap team and must always be at least $8 million below the cap, though this can change with enough extended regular and postseason success. And in the same vein, we cannot afford to sign any free agent above 83 overall unless there is a huge selling point, i.e. hometown, getting to play with a superstar, etc. It is our hope here that you will be able to bring us a Stanley Cup and can return this franchise to its original glory. Do not let us down. A Stanley Cup, eh? Alright, first we gotta just make the playoffs. One step at a time here, boys. That's not all. I also received a letter from League Commissioner Gary Bettman. Let's open her up and see what's going on. Hello, GM Yeesh. I regret to inform you that your owner, Eugene Melnyk, is late with some of his payments. As a result of this, we will be slashing your team's scouting budget this season. Additionally, if you plan on being a GM in this league, there are some rules you must follow. You must always be above the cap floor during the regular season. That's fair. No trading players with a full no-trade clause unless there's a legitimate reason for them to want out. Yeah, that one makes sense as well. No underpaying players. The minimum you can offer any player up for an extension is the number he is asking for and no less. So I guess if a guy is asking for like 3 years, $3 million, I have to give him that at least. I can't go like 3 years, $2.5 million. That's fair. And finally, all trades must make sense for both sides or I will veto them. I'm starting to understand why no one else wanted this job. Well, that's fine, boys. Let's take a look at our roster and see what we have to work with in regards to prospects and core building pieces. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. There is no one above 82 except Tierney and Shabbat. Well, at least we can just tank. Right. Duchesne trade. Alright, that's cool. That's cool. Initial wave of panic aside, we do have some great pieces to build with here in Shabbat, Kachuk, and Branny. The way I see it, we have two glaring weaknesses in our organization that need to be addressed far more than anything else right now. The number one weakness I see is there's an insane lack of talent on our NHL team, specifically when it comes to goal scoring. It'll be insanely tough to fix that problem as well, considering we don't have a lottery pick this season, and we don't have anyone in the system right now who specializes in scoring goals, which brings us to problem number 2. Our prospect pool isn't nearly deep enough, boys. Even if these guys all somehow magically turn out, that's still only, 11, 12 skaters out of an 18-man roster. And I think some people tend to get this confused, even in real life. These potentials for players like medium top 6 or medium top 4, those are their ceilings, boys, not their floors. This is what they could hopefully turn into, not what they should or will. It's like the saying, don't count your chickens before they hatch, right? We will do everything in our power to get them to grow, but for at least a few of them, even that might not be enough. So we need to deepen our prospect pool. But don't worry, boys. I came here with a plan, and that plan starts with the first trade of my career. Now, I was talking on the phone with Dale Talon of the Florida Panthers, and they have a kid who they do not need, and they have plenty of contract space. So there we go. Let's put him on the block. Now I have Fog of War on, so it says he's a medium top 6 forward, even though he's actually, I believe, a depth forward. I looked before, and I believe he's a depth forward, so we shouldn't have much problem acquiring him. And He's probably won't ever be more than a fourth liner at best, but the point of this trade will be for contract room. So let me go ahead and draw it up real quick. All right, boys. So in exchange for acquiring this guy and freeing up 4 contract spaces, I have agreed to give up Michael Wickstrand. He has medium top 4 potential, but he's only 70 overall. And more importantly, I don't think we have any room for him in the minors with guys like Branny, Yaros, Harper, and others already taking up space. So losing him will do us no harm. Same goes for Andreas England. He would be taking up Branny's spot on the top 6. So in exchange for taking 4 contract space, we'll give them some AHL depth. This won't be a move that makes or breaks either franchise, right? But remember, boys, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's the little things. You got to make the little moves first before you make the big ones. So will they accept this trade? Perfect. Now, if this ever appears, you can always squeeze it out for like add in a 4th or 5th, but I won't cheese them. This is exactly what I wanted in the deal, so I'm happy with it. On behalf of the Florida Panthers organization, I accept your trade offer. We'll see you out on the ice. Perfect. So I'll go best roster for now since we aren't bothering with the lines. And like I said, boys, I have a plan. I already did some pre-scouting in regards to free agency as well. And I think there's 3 key free agents that we can pick up to help our team. Now, the first idea I had to find free agents that we could use for our roster was to sort by age, right? Like the younger the better. We need prospects, and I found 2 18-year-old kids. This Axel Anderson guy, 18 years old, right-handed shot, defenseman, and Martin, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that last name because I will butcher it. Martin Very. Let's call him Martin Very. Now, I don't know how good either of these guys are, but Axel Anderson, this kid, he's a right-handed shot, a former second-round pick, and he's a super Swede who can play in the minors alongside Branny, and they can grow together. So since we're pretty stacked on the left side with guys like Shabbat, Wolanin, Harper, Branny, I feel like a right-handed shot is what we need in our organization right now. So he's going to be the one I go after. Hopefully it's the right decision. I will go ahead and offer him 1 year, $925,000 to come over and play for us. And our next stop is going to be on the left wing side. Now this time we're not going to scout by age. It's going to be by overall. Here we are. Left winger Oscar Mahler. Now this guy, look at that passing rating, right? This guy has some insane offensive categories, and back in the older games like NHL 17, NHL 18, you ever put this guy in your team, even though he's a low overall, he'll simulate like a monster. But for some reason in NHL 19, every single simulation, he's a bust. But maybe it'll be different this time around with your Ottawa Senators. At the very least, it can't hurt to give him a roster spot, and I believe it's a very low-risk, high-reward move. So I will go ahead and offer you a 1-year contract as well. If he plays well, boys, we can call him up to the NHL, give him a shot, see what he can do. And at the very worst, he can help our minor league grow. And same with this guy right here, Tomas Jurko. So he is a right-wing sniper. Our organization needs more goals. He has a really good shot for a 77 overall. He's young, only 25, and his deking category is up there, which allows him to get to areas to shoot more. I've noticed that players with higher deking rating will tend to shoot more, so I'm hoping for that from this Jurko kid. It's another low-risk signing. None of these signings are going to make or break our franchise, boys, right? Like, they're pretty under-the-radar kind of moves. But remember, it's the little things. Our organization has some serious needs. Our prospect pool isn't deep enough, and we need goal scoring. These moves are just a small step towards fixing those very, very glaring issues. They aren't going to solve everything for us themselves, but it's a start, right? You got to start somewhere. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's have a look at the draft class before I simulate ahead here. Now remember, we do not have our first round pick heading into the year one draft, and our scouting budget will be slashed, so we're going to have to do some very smart scouting if we don't want to get ripped off at the draft here. I think we should focus on finding a sniper, a goalie for the future, or maybe another right-handed shooting defenseman to pair with Branny or Shabbat. If you guys think we have a bigger need elsewhere, let me know. The last thing I want to do in this video is go ahead and put the lines together, but let's take a look at the draft class. I believe everyone from 1st to 7th, I want to say, is elite potential. Maybe if something lines up, like there's a team that wants to give you their first round pick, maybe we can trade up, but I don't see any reason to force it. I think our biggest concern is a right-handed shot defenseman or a sniper, and these guys are all left-handed shots, so right, we don't need Branny, Shabbat, and then one of these guys on the left side. I mean, it'd be the dirtiest left side in hockey, but then we'd be lacking on the right. Maybe this kid's a sniper, DeAndre Sanford. We'll get him uncovered, and maybe if he falls in the draft, we can afford to trade up for him. But we're likely going to be picking somewhere in the 14 to 22 range. Lars Ekman Larson. Oh, that kid could be a stud. If there's any names here you guys want me to target, maybe scout, let me know. I will go ahead and simulate a couple days ahead here, get the lines together, just to show you guys what we're working with heading into year one. I won't be doing any simulating in this video. I just want to get everything set up, and we can start the simulating, maybe make some minor trades starting next video. Alright boys, so for the NHL lineup, I basically decided to prioritize growth for any of the older players who still have a little potential left, like Pajot, Duclair, Bodker. See if they get top 6 minutes, maybe they can grow. Maybe we get some growth out of them, and they can become pieces of the rebuild instead of just tradable assets, right? I also decided to protect the young guys, Brady Tkachuk and Colin White, protect the rookies. I'll give them our best center and best forward to play with. Hopefully that helps them to grow in a third line role, since they're both currently listed as third liners. Colin White might eventually transition to the center spot, but for now we're going to start him on the wing. And on defense, you guys really seem to like DeMello as Shabbat's deep partner in real life, so may as well give it a shot here. Our top 4, we might have the second worst pairing. Oh, we definitely have the second worst pairing in hockey. This might be the second worst pairing in hockey for like the last decade and a half or something. Cody Ceci and Mark Borowiecki. For the power play, I decided to go 4 forwards, 1 defenseman on the top unit and the second unit as well. Not because it'll work better or anything, but there are more forwards I'm interested in growing and maybe getting those extra power play points than defensemen. So that was the thought process there. I'm going to try Brady Tkachuk on the penalty kill. He seems to have a pretty good defensive category and especially really good stick. If it really doesn't work, then I'll know for the future. But if he can become a solid penalty killer for us as well as a power play specialist, this kid could really be something special. 4-on-4 lines, again, just giving the young guys and some of the younger vets some roles, protecting the rookies. 3-on-3, all about the speed. Anthony Duclair, Bodker, and then gave the young guys some ice time. That's what that looks like. And now here's what the future of your Ottawa Senators looks like, boys. Down in the AHL, we got all the prospects playing. Look at this lineup, boys. This is a filthy AHL lineup. I mean, you got guys like Josh Norris on the 4th line. Don't worry, I'm not stunning his growth. His role is an other forward, which means I can play him anywhere in the lineup, and as long as I don't overplay him, he should have plenty of growth. Drake Batherson was listed as a depth forward, so he could play in the NHL this season, but I didn't see a reason for him to, considering we're going to be garbage. I'd rather have him have a fantastic year down the AHL, and then next year we can call him up. He'll be that much better and ready for the NHL level, right? I got guys like Logan Brown playing key roles, Yurko and Maul with the free agent signings. They're getting some ice time as well. Top 6 minutes. You'll love to see it. And then for the D pairs, now this is what I'm talking about, why every prospect isn't going to grow, right, boys? You got Ben Harper and Christian Yaros, who are listed as top 2 defensemen, but obviously Lannon and Lajoie, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Someone please correct me if I'm butchering these names. They need top 2 minutes, and they have medium top 4 potential and low top 4, so I'm going to prioritize growing them over these guys. Not everyone's going to get the ice time. If you have a really stacked roster, perfectly fine. Maybe they don't get it this year, but Lannon and Lajoie will be headed to the NHL next season. Maybe then they'll have a chance to thrive. We got Branny and the newly signed prospect Anderson playing together, the Super Swedes baby, building that defense foundation. Love to see it. Power play, again, I'm just giving all the young guys, young prospects some time on the power play. I really, really want to see what Branstrom's capable of. His offensive category is insane, and I'm hoping with that medium elite potential, he can have a fantastic year of growth. Penalty kill, I wanted to give the vets some ice time. I don't want them to get unhappy or anything. I gave Batherson some ice time just to see if he could handle it at the AHL level on the PK. 4-on-4, again, just prioritizing ice time. I'll scroll through these, not waste too much time on them. Extra attacker. I might put Batherson. Yeah, you know what? Let's put Batherson and Batherson right there. Those two. Yeah, I think I want to give Lannon. There we go. Batherson first, then Lannon. Beauty. And then for goalies, we have Anders Nielsen. I mean, this AHL lineup is stacked. I expect it to be well in a playoff spot late into the season. And we have Philippe Gustafsson, the Super Swede, goalie of the future potentially. He's listed as a minor backup, so playing behind another Super Swede and Anders Nielsen could do him some good for his growth. But that's what our AHL and NHL lineups look like, boys. If there's any changes you think I should make, please let me know. Let me know if you guys have any ideas in regards to scouting, potential trade ideas, or targets to address our biggest needs, which I talked about earlier, or something entirely different. That'll do it for this one, boys, and I will see you all in the next episode.